I have this theory that you can make decent black powder out of just about any carbon source, within reason, of course. I don't mean, cow pies. We've tried a lot of weird stuff, but I mean just about any kind of wood that grows out of the ground. Does wood grow out of the ground? I mean, like a tree or a plant or a bush, I think will work just about as good, at least, as GoEx. And so to test this particular theory, I happen to have these old fence boards from this fence that has been here for, I don't know, 40 some odd years. And I think they're pine boards, but to be honest, I don't really know. What I can tell you is it doesn't look like they've ever been painted or coated or sealed with anything. And they are dry as can be. And again, I think they're around 40 years old. So I chopped some up and I popped it in the pyrolyzer. And that's our electric kiln we use to make charcoal. And I charred it, cooked it, baked it, ran it for 2 hours at a temperature of 600 degrees Fahrenheit. It came out looking really, really nice. And we made up some antique muzzleloading propellant with this. Now, we made 2 different batches, which is a little different. Usually we just make one batch at a ratio of 77-13-10, which is 77 parts potassium nitrate, 13 parts charcoal, 10 parts sulfur. So we did that, and we also made another batch at 75-16-9, which you might remember from the soft fouling 1880s black powder video. And in the 16 parts of charcoal, we split it 11.5 parts fence board and 4.5 parts carbonized peas. Now, the carbonized peas thing is green peas that have been carbonized again in our pyrolyzer. If you're wondering about that, watch this video right here and then come back here and finish this one. So again, that's 75-16-9. And one of the things that we wanted to do with that particular batch was to see about what the velocity loss would be. The last time we tried it was with cottonwood and carbonized peas, and we saw about 100 feet per second loss in velocity. The fouling is extremely soft. It's much cleaner. The fouling is much more manageable, but it does cost some velocity. So we wanted to give that a try with the fence board just to see if we would get the same result. So here's how it went. All right, so this is our fence board powder. And again, it could be pine, it could be fir. I don't know.
We don't really know.
I don't know what it is. All I know is it's really old and really dry. And we milled it for 48 hours, and it's at a ratio of 77-13-10. So here's shot number 1. That felt good.
Yeah.
1808.
That's good.
I had a good feeling about that stuff.
Yep. Well, not
Man,
only
that stuff is snappy.
The peas stuff, it's like you're gonna have nice soft fouling, but you're gonna sacrifice some velocity.
Yeah, it seems to be that's definitely the case.
Yeah. That just seems to be the trade-off.
Yep, I think that's just the way it is. But the fouling really is nice and soft.
Yeah.
It really is. Where this stuff might be a little more on the dry, crusty side. Yeah. But when we lit it off on the ground just to do a burn test on it, just to see, as we like to call it, an open air test, it reminded me a lot of balsa, the way it looks really nice and white with the lean ring, what we call the lean white ring.
Yeah.
Definitely doesn't feel as
really
as clean. And not that it's tough, but
after one freaking shot,
I could it just feels that way to me, in my subjective opinion. So here's shot number 2. Yeah. 1826.
Oh yeah, now we're talking.
Man, that's some good stuff. That is some good stuff.
Now we're talking.
Yeah. And the great thing about that is I got a bunch of that.
We got a whole bunch of that.
I got a whole stack of that stuff.
Yeah, geez, we made a whole bunch of that shit.
You know, Derek, we're going to have to do the 72-hour Cottonelle toilet paper because, man, I get...
Yeah, I was reading the comments this morning. I
know
that.
every video we put out, there's like the first comment is like, "Where's the 72-hour toilet paper?"
Lord, when will we get the answer of what's gonna happen with 72-hour Cottonelle? Yes, we know.
Yeah, not horrible, but definitely
noticeable.
Definitely noticeable.
All right, well.
All right. There's shot number 3 with the fence board powder. Wow, man, that feels good. 1825.
Oh, yeah.
Dang.
Consistent.
Nice. Nice. All right, one more. One more.
That's some good shit.
Yeah.
That's the good stuff. That's what the Confederates use, right?
Fence board?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking of cottonwood.
Cottonwood. Yeah, cottonwood and willow. They used a couple.
Did they?
Yeah. But, you know, I was reading that book on hazard.
Yeah.
And they used alder, which is what Swiss uses.
Yeah.
And their powder wasn't as good as the Confederate stuff made out of willow or cottonwood.
Yeah, but the Confederates also went extra steps to make sure their sulfur was extra pure too.
Well, yeah, but so did the northern states. I don't know that
the same.
Yeah, I don't think they used the same method. Like where
Confederates had a big cone.
Rains, he had cones drilled in wood.
Yeah.
And they poured the liquid sulfur in there, and the impurities either went to the top or bottom. I forget.
I think they went to the bottom, and they just break the tip of the cone.
Yeah, and they wouldn't use that.
Yeah.
You know, not that I think Hazard or DuPont made bad powder.
Yeah.
I think that the Confederates probably just a little bit more serious about it, I guess.
Yeah, well.
And not that it helped them at all. All right, so shot number 4. Man, bitchin', 1818.
Man.
That is good stuff.
That is good.
That is good stuff. All right, let's see how it looks. Sorry.
Yep, habit.
And not having my ramrod where it's supposed to go is just I don't know what to do, man. Well, one thing for sure, it's not as clean as the balsa, but it definitely performs as good, if not better, as far as velocity goes. Very, very consistent too.
Yeah.
That's a max spread of sub 20.
Get out of here.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely not as clean as the balsa, that's for sure. But not bad either. I mean, I could just tell it's a little harder to load after 4 shots. Not bad though. It just doesn't have the softness that you get with the green pea stuff. But as luck would have it, I have a batch of powder made with fence board and green peas. So let's give that a try.
All right.
The rock?
Yeah. It's just like, what the fuck is that?
All right, so this is our fence board charcoal with green peas. And this is 75-16-9. And the charcoal ratio is 11.5 parts fence board and 4.5 parts green peas. So here it goes. Yeah, definitely. 1705.
That cost us 100 feet per second in that one shot.
Those green peas. So it's like you might definitely get softer fouling, which in all of our tests is definitely the case. But it looks like it's good for a solid 100 feet per second, maybe a little bit more, depending.
Yeah, we'll get another 4 shots through this, and find out what the average is.
Yeah. And I think this really boils down to what it is you're looking for.
Yeah.
And I've said before that it seems like a lot of people aren't really concerned with how clean their powder is. You know, most people just, they don't care. You know, whatever it works out to, it's fine.
I think it's people that shoot black powder just pretty much, for the most part, just it's going to be dirty. It's going to be dirty no matter what.
And it is going to be dirty. There's
well, yeah, of course. It's not like smokeless.
There's no way around that. It is going to be dirty. And I always get people that, you know, give me a hard time, like, oh yeah, clean burning black powder. Ha ha. Well, okay.
Better
in
than
the world of black powder, I mean,
yes,
you know, as clean as you can get it.
Yeah. It's definitely better than Schutzen or Go-X, that's for sure.
Yep.
I think Schutzen is probably the nastiest stuff you could get on the market.
Yeah, Go-X isn't much better in my opinion. All right, shot number 2. Yeah, 1758.
Okay, well, maybe not a whole 100.
Well, it's just a matter of what it is you like. If you want the fastest powder, there are ways to do that. If you want stuff that's cleaner, there are ways to do that. It's just a matter of what it is that you're looking for.
Yeah.
I found that a lot of people measure their powder by something that sounds like black powder gun, go boom, make smoke.
Therefore good.
Yeah. Not everyone, of course. And certainly not anyone who's watching this right now. All right, shot number 3. That felt pretty good. 1740. Boy, that chronograph just reads every time.
I know, man.
That is so bitchin'. That is so bitchin'. Should have done that years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, it seems like that first shot with a clean barrel ends up being a little lower, and it
just seems like
throws
that
a wrench in my averages.
But it's across the board. It doesn't matter what it doesn't matter what powder we're using. The patch is all the same.
No,
but
I'm still loading easy here.
Are you?
Yeah, we're on the 4th shot of just the straight fence board. It was a little not that I couldn't get it down or I had to hit it with a hammer.
It's just crunchy.
That green peas, it really makes stuff softer. So here's shot number 4. Yeah. 1715. Boy, that's pretty bitchin'. That's pretty bitchin'. Yeah, you might be down, I don't know, what, 70 feet per second or so.
Yeah.
Well, I'll look at that first one. I might delete that first one.
Well, if you're going to do that, then put a 5th round through.
Okay. I like the way you think. Fair enough.
That way we got a solid 4 against 4.
You're in the right of it, as usual. Yeah, that green pea stuff. And again, that's a different ratio too. So, oh, yeah, I'm sure that someone's going to give me a hard time about that. Well, you can't do that. The ratio's not the same. Of course it's going to be different. Yeah, okay. In my experience, any powder that has less sulfur is going to be more cleaner.
Yeah, we figured that out a long time ago when we first started, you know, It's like, oh, let's just add an extra gram. We'll do 75, 15, 11. And it was like, yeah, it did pick up a little bit, but man, it was filthy.
Yeah, more sulfur just makes it a lot more dirty.
Yeah.
And again, I know nobody cares about that but us, but that's okay. All right, here's shot number 5. $16.92.
16?
$16.92.
Okay.
That's not bad at all.
No.
That's not bad at all. It's still a little wider. A little wider. You know, it's not the 4 or whatever at the last time we did the cottonwood and pea stuff. But again, our chronograph was having a conniption.
Yeah. Which, thanks to everyone watching, doesn't seem to be a problem that we're going to have to deal with anymore.
This thing reads all the time. It
Yeah,
has not
like-
missed a shot so far. We've got, I don't know, 30 shots through it as of right now. Not with this, but, you know. Not with only this.
Yeah, not this particular test.
Wow, bitchin'. Okay, so according to this, that averaged 1722.
Okay.
So not quite 100 foot per second loss, I guess.
But 80 to 90, I think the other stuff was 18, 14.
Yeah. So again, it really depends on what it is you want. If you're okay with having a little bit dirtier powder or a little bit harder fouling, they don't need the peas.
Yeah. But if you're picky enough about it.
Yeah. It's just a matter of what works best for you and your rifle. Yeah. Dang, pretty bitchin'. Pretty bitchin'. That's 5 shots.
Yeah.
And I could load another 5 or 8 shots, I bet you, before I really started to struggle with it. Which I think we demonstrated the last time we did the cottonwood and peas thing. I know this is fence board and peas, but yeah, same ratio.
Same principle.
I loaded and fired, I think 10 shots, if I remember right.
Yeah, because
trying to get the chronograph to read.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't do it. Which I know isn't really a fair test because I always check after 4 or 5 shots.
Yeah.
But super easy to load, super soft fouling. Overall, pretty bitchin'. Yeah, not quite Swiss velocity, or even just straight fence board, or straight cottonwood, if you're checking that. But still, pretty damn good. I still want to maybe bring the... actually, you know what? That's probably the next one we should do. Besides the 72-hour Cottonelle, is try the 77-13-10 ratio and split the fence board and peas that way. Maybe it'll be a little bit more dirty because you're adding more sulfur. Either way, pretty bitchin'. We're going to shoot the paper target on the left. We're about, what, 40 yards right here at the tree?
Yep.
Okay, and this is our fence board powder at a ratio of 77-13-10. And this here is just to hold my new range rod. There's one.
I'd say that's pretty damn good.
A couple of low ones in there. I wonder which ones those were.
Told you that last one was a bullseye, though.
Yeah, well, you know, when I'm using powder that's around 1800, I'll aim right about here. But
doesn't look like you need to.
Well, not too bad. I'll take it either way. Okay, so we've got our 44 caliber 1851 Navy loaded up with 25 grains of 3F fence board powder with a round ball. And we'll see if our Garmin continues to work so well. .908. .859. .862. .833. 810, 844. I think I need to tighten up my wedge a little bit there. Okay, so according to this, that averaged 853 feet per second.
That's not bad.
Not too bad at all.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping it'd stick up there around 900, but that's still damn good.
Something I forgot to mention there was we have been milling our powders for 48 hours lately. We have found that you can take a less than ideal carbon source and get excellent performance out of it if you simply mill it longer. For a long time, we would mill our stuff for 24 hours and compress it and test it and all that stuff. We've been trying 32 and 48, between 32 and 48. Both of those batches there were milled for 48 hours. Also, if you're one of the people right now watching this that's asking me about the 72-hour mill Cottonelle toilet paper powder, that stuff is right here. It's been too damn hot to go out there and shoot lately, but we have it right here. It's all ready to go. And as soon as it's not 110, we'll go out there and do that. But this stuff performed really, really bitchin' for being whatever it is. Again, I think it's pine, but I'm not really sure. So let me get out my super cool Garmin app that tracks all of that stuff. Right, here we are. Fence board, 48-hour mill, 77-13-10 ratio. 4 shots, averaging 18-19 with a spread of 18.5 for a standard deviation of 7.3, delivering 940 foot-pounds of energy. Man, that is bitchin'. This does all the math for me. That is rad. That is really bitchin'. In fact, it's just a little bit slower than the 48-hour Cottonwood, which is the most powerful powder that we've made so far. It certainly beats Swiss by a good 30, almost 40 feet per second. So very powerful for whatever kind of wood it is. It seemed to be pretty bitchin'. As for the fence board and green peas, that averaged 1722. Max spread of 65, standard deviation of 23.9. That's a little bit wider spread than I like to see. I don't usually like to see spreads of over 50, but that happens sometimes. Delivering 843 foot-pounds of energy. So again, the green peas, while it does make softer fouling, cleaner powder, you could pretty much count on losing 100 feet per second right off of the velocity of whatever the straight charcoal would be. No gay jokes or nothing, okay? Pure charcoal. You know what I mean. As for the 44 Cal Navy, that averaged 853. That had a spread of 98 and standard deviation of 30. Yeah, well, that happens sometimes. Again, I felt it rattling a little bit. I had to push that wedge in. It might have been that, or it just might be the way it is. So overall, that stuff performs excellent. I'm really, really happy with that. One of the things that we've noticed when it comes to cleaner burning powder, and again, that is in regards to black powder being a dirty burning propellant no matter what, is low sulfur ratios always are cleaner. And we tried what we called the stoichiometric ratio a couple months ago, well, however long ago, which was 77-15-8. And we tried it with Cottonwood, and it was exceptionally clean, and we didn't have any loss in velocity. In fact, the velocity was almost exactly the same. So I have another batch of fence board powder, and again, this is 77-15-8, 48-hour mill, that we're going to try to see if we can't clean it up, but also not lose 100 feet per second worth of velocity like we are continuing to see with the green pea mix. But again, it's too damn hot, so it's hot in here too. It's probably 120 degrees in here. So as soon as it cools down, which I can hardly wait for, we'll get on that stuff and try it. But again, the 72-hour Cottonelle stuff is coming, so please be patient. Again, thank you guys for the chronograph. It works bitchin'. It works every time. It has not once failed to read a shot, which is just bitchin'. So thanks again. And as usual, folks, if you thought this video didn't suck, do me a favor and hit the like button. Consider subscribing. And if you did think it sucked, go make your own damn video.